Actually, I don't think I'm going to tell you anything about this novel other than it's a fine piece of work that may cause you to weep. Right now it's called Yiddish for Pirates. Prologue. Fin. I do remember. Too much. Stories I would live again, canine horror. Sometimes, despite myself. My young years. Older than you, mind you, but green. Mostly no one asks. They treat me like a turkey here in this Jewish birdhouse, the Shalom home for the aged. Shalom? In Hebrew. It means hello, goodbye, or peace. Imagine some altar cocker standing in an upper story window of our building, looking out from behind the orange curtains and waving. Are they waving hello or goodbye? In an old age home? Who knows? Tch, and what would peace look like? Is it better to be in dry dock or lost somewhere out at sea? Tell you the truth, I'm glad you asked. And as long as the old man is asleep over there, you might as well sit and listen to me. Come all ye brave lads and so forth. I'll tell you the whole Megillah from fore to aft. There's still some good story left in this bird brain. Pirates, parrots, Jews, jewels, gold, gefilte fish, the Inquisition. How a sword can make its own scabbard out of a man's guts. How a man can make himself his own scabbard just by changing who he says he is. Too often, stories in this library of lost people are in the language of forgetting, but I'll try. You can write this down. It'll get you the same good marks as whatever Mishagas, the old man, would have talked about. But there's brine in my eye when I remember back. The glinty waves, the deep jungle, the round, sad ocean world. A world I wouldn't have believed if I hadn't sailed right into it. And for a time, that world had but one shoulder, blue and fussy with epaulettes, hanging off the rigging of a stolen frock coat, a cutlass of a collarbone covered in flesh like mangy beef jerky, a crow's nest high on a salty scarecrow. I was a pirate's parrot, and had I not supped from the fountain of eternal youth hundreds of years ago, I would rest beside my scurvy captain and Davy Jones himself at the bottom of the sea where the soulless creatures crawl forever in darkness. That life, it was a wonder tale. I, gay plats, a plague on you. I've got myself verkocht with words turncoating again, thinking about that Momser himself. I talk too much. But what you expect? 400 years old, I'm an altar cocker of the highest degree, with a brain like a breadfruit, a parrot brain like a chameleon on Jewish tartan. The horizon, this is where I steal my own lines. The horizon, I once told a painter from the old country, it gives you a whole new perspective. It doesn't exist except from far away. The horizon is always a story, and as soon as we get there, it's somewhere else. A Sisyphean cliffhanger, you could say. And no, I didn't say syphilis. That's another story. The horizon, it's a line we cross just to see what we could see, and to escape, and for gold and liquor, and for women. And I wouldn't say no to abyssal ripe fruit, thick with seeds, like a sack bursting fat with pieces of 8. But this is a pirate tale I'm telling you. So new, you ask. What was the treasure in? Where was it buried? This I'll try to answer, as well as another question. And then what happened? This is good. Your teacher will like it. And it's healthy for a boy like you to hear about blood, tishkas and shtupping, as well as some other good things. So, stories begin at the beginning. At least some do. It's a question of where the beginning is. So, I'll begin somewhere. Chapter 1. We're on a ship, and high above us the pale full moon, Kanainahora, pus-coloured, to be frank, streaked seaman silver across the shawl of the sea. The clouds bulging dark spun fat from the slate-grey sky. The world is a slow breath. The cool sea air, the quiet ship deck, the crew sleeping below except for a few rum-soaked and unconscious seamen collapsed against the capstan. The flap of the sails like the wings of a giant seabird, the steady lapping of waves against the hull somewhere far below. Where are we? We could be anywhere between one place and another in the long night, heading towards another horizon. Gewalt, the watch calls out suddenly from the wheel, waking from his near stupor. Galleon, at 2 o'clock, avast! There's sudden action from below deck. The quartermaster, dishevelled, strides onto the scene. A rigger, monkey-like, runs up the mizzenmast to the crow's nest. Seamen scatter about deck and rigging. We've been waiting for this. I'm quick aft to the poop deck, landing on my captain, peering through the spyglass. I totter, almost falling off his shoulder as he grips his breath like pickled rat. Spanish, he says. Spanish, Captain, the rigger calls down from the crow's nest. For that, I could have saved him the trip, the captain says, shrugging. Moish, my captain. He was born to cross the ocean sea, which is what we used to call the Atlantic, before we knew what it was. He was thrown like dreck by his young mother into the river. No basket, no Pharaoh's daughter for him to sail to, unless she be Death's sweet and toothless daughter herself. But he was rescued, a barely moving pink conch flesh of a baby. An old Jewess beating the laundry on the rocks downstream fished him out of the water and brought the poor Verstinkiner back home, finally in a basket, where he was named Moshe, Moses, Moish, he who was drawn from water. He was circumcised soon after. Years later, it's the beginning of another story. He named me Aharon, Aaron, brother of Moses, and he who spoke his words. But I should keep my story straight. I was telling you of a galleon. Mach schnell, I called to no one in particular. Hurry up! I was getting into the spirit of the moment, taking the captain's lead. It would take us some hours to catch up to our prey. Already the boatswain had the man hoisting and securing the sails, netting the wind like some dream catcher, the ocean gleaming past us as we ran toward the horizon. With any luck, Kanainahora, we'd take the Spanish by surprise, hit them in the bait seam before they were even fully awake, and gonifs that we were, have their gelt-laden chests aboard our ship before dawn. And so we sailed. In the east, a rash over the water, the bleeding lip of the horizon, the sky a maiden's bruise. We approached the Spanish ship. Putzes, they didn't see us coming, the crew rum-addled, the schnorrer captain drooling beneath his poxy sheets. From the orlop below deck, the powder monkeys began scrambling, that stilted scarecrow walk, careful not to spill powder. The gunners made ready with our 8-pounders. We hove broadside to the galleon, and the captain, calling the carpenter surgeon to him, instructed the man to take his greatest drill and bore broad holes in our ship's sides, an invitation for the ocean to rush aboard and quicken our men's valor. Captain? The surgeons inquired. With no ship to skate back to, the captain said, it'll put a spring to the schlepper's steps. The surgeon did as he was ordered, and soon a cry of panic came from below, to which the captain, ever laconic, replied, unless you're Yoshka, Jesus, and can run home on water, we've no choice but to take the ship with haste and command the Spaniards directly to their maker. As soon as we heaved ourselves close with grappling hooks,